What's up guys, today I'll be going over some very important new information in Destiny 2 around buffs and how buffs work in this game. First I'm going to break down how box breathing works on Whisper of the Worm versus other guns with box breathing, aka the EP Sniper, and we're going to start off there and go from there. So first we're going to break down how long it takes to proc the perk box breathing. From the second you click the button to aim down sights, it's 2.1 seconds roughly. Next we're going to start breaking down how the damage works for box breathing on the Whisper. As you saw, that was the body shot damage. This is a regular crit without box breathing. And finally, with the box breathing perk active, as you'll see right here, we hit the number 2511. So here in a second, I'm going to go ahead and throw all the numbers back up on the screen and start breaking them down. So as you see, the body shot was 387, headshot was 1931, which is 5 times the body shot. Then box breathing was 2511, which is 6.5 times the body shot damage. Now let's do it with the EP Sniper, which also has box breathing. So first with body shot, now with a regular headshot without the perk, then finally with box breathing procced. As you see here, the final one hits 1303. So once again, putting those numbers up on the screen, this time the headshot is a 3.5x, and with box breathing it's a 6x, so it went up by a factor of 2.5 compared to the Whisper only went up by 1.5. Also in percents, it went up by 71.5 for EP and only 30% for the Black Spindle. So at this point, nothing makes sense. It's different percents, which kind of makes sense because it's a crit modifier, but the crit modifier didn't go up by the same amount. So my best guess is there's a max crit modifier in the game for whatever reason, because usually you couldn't get that close without box breathing. And now with the box breathing and the white nail perk on the Whisper of the Worm, which also gives it bonus precision damage, just makes it reach a number that wasn't programmed in the game, or the white nail perk and box breathing do not work together, and for whatever reason one overrides the other maybe. But anyways, clearly something's not working as intended. I don't know if that's how they wanted it to work, but in reality the Whisper should go from a 5x to a 7.5. So the next part of this video, I was going to go ahead and test if box breathing stacked with other buffs like it should. What I mean by that is all the buffs in this game multiply. If you did not know, I made a video about this back at the launch of Warmind, where every buff multiplies against other buffs. So first with the Whisper, that's a regular headshot with no perk and no modifiers on it. And now we're going to do it with box breathing, and it should be 30% more, which it is, as you see right there. That's roughly exactly 30% more. So everything so far makes sense. Now we're going to throw all the modifiers you can on top of it. One thing to mention is Empowering Rift and Prestige activities is only 20% compared to 30% normally, but if you add that all together, it's a 5.85 times modifier, which means that's the number I should be hitting, and I get that number almost on the dot. So everything worked as we thought. So now let's do it with the EP Sniper, and this time we can throw in things like Tractor Cannon. So right there is a regular headshot. And now with box breathing, it should be 71.4% higher, and it was, as you saw right there. Now throwing all the buffs you can get onto this weapon, now you get 11.57x buff if you multiply every single one of those together, including the Tractor Cannon this time. So this is the number we should be hitting, and that's the number we hit. But wait, what's going on here? Back in May when I first tested this, there was a max buff cap at 6.18 that you could not go past. Even if you were at like doing a 10x modifier with everything added together, it still would only do 6.18 damage. So doing the exact same test on the exact same nightfall as that video with the EP shotgun, a regular headshot with no modifiers, no buffs hits 5223, which is the exact same number I hit last time. But last time, no matter how high of a buff I went, it would always reset back to 6.18. And I hit this number, 32,278. So let's do it again this time with all the same modifiers I did in that old video, which is Trench Barrel, Melting Point, Tractor Cannon, you name it. And now I hit 48,000, as you see right here, 48,473. So did they remove the max buff cap? So takeaway number one from this, the buff cap is gone apparently. I don't know when they did it or how they found out about it. It's possible they watched my video and realized that there's a buff cap in the game, because before things like Tractor Cannon rework, Trench Barrel, box breathing, there was no way you could even get close to a 6x modifier. But with all these new buffs we have in the game, you can actually get much higher, and I think that number was just a placeholder in the coding that they had for whatever reason, and either they realized it on their own or through my video that it was in the game and they decided to remove it or up it to a new number. But as you saw, I had 11.5x modifier on the EP Sniper and it worked. I got the exact number the math added up to. So takeaway number 2 from this video is void weapons are so much stronger now because of the buff cap being gone, and I'll tell you why. The Tractor Cannon buff, which is 50%, isn't just 50%. Once you're like 5, 6, 7 buffs deep, especially in strikes, that 50% becomes a lot higher. So if the Whisper, for example, was void, in this video, with all the buffs I could get, the max buff was 5.85, but if I add another 50% on top of that, it is now 8.775, so it almost went up by a full 3 times buff just from that 50%, because they're all multiplying together and it's exponential. So if the Whisper was void and I had Tractor Cannon applied also, it'd be hitting 93,000 per shot compared to the 62,000. So that 50% goes a long way when you're like multiple buffs deep. And that's why void weapons are very good, and they'll probably not be beaten until there's another buff like that for other weapons. And another really cool thing about the buff cap being gone going into Forsaken, or the 28th of this month, when we have different weapons in different slots, you'll be able to run things like Tractor Cannon and EP Shotgun at the same time probably, or even Tractor Cannon EP Sniper. So you're going to be able to apply a lot of these buffs more consistently without losing like damage anywhere, because right now you have to drop a shotgun or sniper for Tractor Cannon, which is worth it, especially when the buff cap is gone. It's definitely worth it to run a Tractor Cannon, but in Forsaken, you'll be able to do that and have your own like shotgun to do damage at the same time. So it's actually going to be really crazy. And takeaway number 3 from this video is bosses need more health. Especially with the buff cap being gone, the amount of damage we can do per second is literally through the roof right now, and I'm pretty sure they already know this, and going to the Forsaken, they plan on making bosses have more health, which is very much so needed. Giving us a lot of buffs in the game is very good. It makes it feel more like an MMO, which is a great feeling, but you also have to up the boss's health to match it, or else we're literally just shitting on the content. I'm pretty sure what we've seen so far for Forsaken, it looks like they're going to be doing that. It looks like the raid has 4+ bosses. It's going to be crazy. I think they know what they're doing. It's just that it's going to take a while. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for the video. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.